Okay, so here's what happened for my show. I started making phone calls the minute I bounded out of bed, and I say bounded in the famous air quotes, more like slunk out of bed, because I saw our 64 gig was completely gone. What is this? This is iPad. This is the tablet that all others are measured by. We rarely get to do them as a today's special, but July happens to be America's birthday, of course, on July 4th, but it's also HSN's birthday, 45th birthday through the month of July. So in honor of that, we had to take America's favorite tablet, America's choice. I mean, seriously, when I said the tablet that all others are measured by, I think we could arguably say it is the Apple. I am going to be upgrading during this show because not only is this the latest bionic chip, not only do you have a wealth of options that we're including basically for no additional cost, we're including smart people with your purchase, 3 years of Mac U that you don't have to pay for. And just to be clear, this is not a refurbished, this is not an also ran, this is not a last year's model. And unlike the Apple Store, we do not have a 14-day return policy. We've got a 30-day return policy with no restocking fee, which also means if for whatever reason it doesn't meet your expectations, you can send it back. And for the first time in history for our birthday, we also have free exchanges. So I'll cover what free exchanges are in just a moment, but perfect, real quickly, thanks Dustin. If you decide, oh, I bought the space gray, I wish I would have got the silver, or I bought the silver and I got the rose gold case, but I really want the black. Now, for the first time in history, you can actually exchange that for free. So let's give you your options and what's left. First and foremost, you choose it in the space gray or the silver. That's what the case of or basically the outer skin or the color of the iPad would be. And then for the first time, you choose that 64 gig or that 256 gig for basically just a nominal increase. I will tell you that 64 gig was actually officially sold out by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. When I said I started making phone calls the moment I slunk out of bed, our buying team was able to secure a couple dozen of the 64 gig in all of the accessory colors. So what are those accessories? We're going to include a nice case that actually folds over itself, to which you can attach or detach the wireless Bluetooth keyboard that we include for no additional cost. We're going to include this great kind of scuba material, this almost like neoprene case that has been custom dyed to go with that great foldable case. We're going to include not one, not two, how about 3 of your styluses? We include, for the first time ever, the upscale, the elite screen protectors. We're also going to include the gooseneck, which I think we've only done one other time in history. And in fact, I smell like chocolate chip cookies because I was baking before this show. So I'm actually, one of the reasons I'm upgrading is because of the camera quality and the ability to do your own videos, your own Skype, your own Zoom, your own FaceTime. And then of course you just pick your accessory package color. Do you want it in the white? Do you want it in the navy? Do you want it in the blue tie-dye? Do you want it in the silver? Do you want it in the black? Do you want it in the rose gold? Now, Rick, I think I'm saying this correctly. If you want the 64 gig, I have all choices in the accessory package. There are just a couple dozen. There are just a couple dozen, so be aware. Let's jump to the 256 gig, which is what I am getting. So we have space gray in all of the colors except the blue tie-dye. And then if you want the 256 gig in silver, basically black and white only and very, very limited. We also have, of course, our special financing. If you are an HSN charge card holder, that's a perfect way to go ahead and upgrade yours. So truly for about $45 a month, give or take, you can get yours. All right, I gotta get them out here. My man.
Here we go. Here we go.
Bill Duggan. By the way, I told Bill this yesterday. We're excited to have our special guest back in the studio. Apple. Yeah, well, there you go. And our today's specials are all free shipping as of our weekly deal drops, but I was especially happy to see you here because nobody likes to play in the sandbox more than Bill Duggan.
We have fun.
We do have fun. But you know what? Technology can be fun if you've got the right one, can it?
Well, that's just it. Even though the 2 years we spent apart, we still were able to have fun and get connected, because that's the worst thing, is when you want to be connected, you need to get something done, and technology is not your friend. And trust me, we've all been there. Oh, it can do all of this, and then you get it home and you're like, well, that's over my head. Apple makes it so accessible. HSN makes it affordable. That's why when it's a today's special, perfect time to either upgrade your old iPad, because maybe you've had one for 5 or 6 or 10 years, and now you want the latest and greatest. Or maybe this is the time you're gonna actually try Apple, because you've, I don't want to say wasted money, but you've spent money on other tablets that are out there. Sure. It's an investment in Apple, but it's an investment in quality, ease of use, longevity, which is great, and that's what you're going to notice. So I just want to introduce you into this 9th generation iPad. So that 9th generation, it is the latest. So what's new inside this iPad? You're going to be blown away by the processing capability, because it has a new A13 chip. And what does that mean? It's going to be 20% faster than the prior model. So I know people who've upgraded because they want to go from 8 to 9 because they wanted more speed or needed it. But so many people who have actually upgraded have had theirs for years. They wanted a better camera. They wanted center stage. You're gonna get all of that.
Everything.
Everything.
And this is the latest and the greatest. And by the way, I'm on a don't ask, don't tell policy. I don't know where they found the couple dozen of the 64 gig, because I can tell you for a fact, it was officially stamped sold out. Yep. I called our line planning producer, and the calls went all the way up the chain. Like they begged Apple to let us do this, because we wanted to start our 45th birthday with a bang. And of course, it's our 4th of July celebration. But more importantly, this is the gift that you do for you. And there is no downside to grabbing it, because there is a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. We have our free exchanges, and we are giving you truly the latest, all of the upgrades for this hour and this show only. Yeah. Bill has a great item coming up next hour, and we're also going to remind you about your his weekly deal drop. Right. However, this is your final opportunity to get it. And let me just be clear. If you want that 64 gig, which for the first time we broke that $500 price point, I will tell you this. Any one of the choices, how did I leave out the ombre? Good grief. I got so, because that actually is my favorite.
It's beautiful.
But we do have a couple dozen, basically, in that 64 gig in all of the colors, And that 256, though, I'll just tell you, in that space gray, in the silver is almost completely gone. So just kind of keep that in mind. So, Bill, let's start with some of the basics. Sure. There's nothing basic about iPad, although I will tell you, it is as easy as it gets. And we were talking about how much fun we have together. Frankly, I think it's because when you do have fun, it makes technology accessible, and you find yourself doing things that you would never, ever have thought that you could do.
Well, that's just it. It's one thing to be able to find a video. Here's us having fun yesterday, celebrating Christmas in July. But more importantly, that's just it. When you have this in your lap, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, that was a lot easier than I thought. What else can I do? And because it's right here, you're not stuck in another room, away from the kids, away from the family. And this is where it's like, I didn't know I could do that. And then you're like, you know what? I can do more. It's empowering technology versus intimidating technology. And just a fun example. So I just jumped over here. I was searching for a video to watch. I think we've all been there, jumped onto YouTube. So I'm gonna, are you sending me something?
I am.
Oh, what are you sending me? I hope it's TV appropriate, because it's about to go to air.
I actually got a little nervous there. I'm not even kidding.
It happens.
I did, I'm like,
Did you hear about the latest update that Apple did?
What?
Where you can delete text messages after you send them?
That's handy.
Very handy. for show hosts and guests alike.
Exactly.
So I actually pulled up this video. Again, it's faster processor, which is great. So there's a lot less buffering. But this is what often happens. We're binge watching, we're watching a show, and all of a sudden it's like, get social, shop with us. You can swipe up from the bottom. You don't have to stop the movie and all of that. And then maybe I'm gonna jump onto the World Wide Web, because maybe I wanna grab some of this great Christmas stuff. And you see, it's that easy and instantaneous. It's drag it to where you want to go. And that is Apple being successful at an operating system. that makes sense. It's not, you know, I went to computer school and I studied this. It's really like, I want this to go from there. And that's where, you know, the Macs and the mouse and the drag and the drop that set Mac and Apple apart from everything else, set the standard. And when they came out with the iPad, it really was a nice evolution.
Can I ask you something? Now, and I preface this, Bill's mom's name is Pat and my mom's name is Pat.
Correct.
So we're talking
and my
about,
stepmom.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Boy, you know, it's all Pats all the time, I guess. But I am so proud of my mom. My mom would be the first one to tell you she is not real tech savvy, and I'm certainly, you know, don't have an engineering degree from MIT, but she is doing things with her iPad. She has an iPad mini that I would have never in all my born days, I would have bet my life there's no way that my mom would have been doing Zoom meetings, that my mom would have been doing Facebook, that my mom would have been sharing videos, that my mom would be doing her own doctor's visits. She's going in like doctor portals, and I'm like,
to see her results, right?
Right? It's crazy.
Because technology has gotten easier where, you know, you can just click a link. It takes you there. You don't need to worry about the URLs and the codes. Similar to my mom, Pat.
Yeah.
I gave her a tablet one Mother's Day. You know, I saved some money. I didn't get her an Apple.
Sure, no,
and
I
she
get it.
tried it out, and I'm like, Mom, I got home, and I'm like, what'd you think of it? She's like, I can't even figure out how to turn it on. And I thought it was a Patty problem, not a technical problem.
Right.
And then I went to get my hands on it. I'm like, oh, I was just as dumbfounded. And that's where technology, if it's not intuitive, it's a waste of money. And there's nothing worse when you spend money on something, and we've talked about Shannon's obsession with shoes and bags, and you wear them once, versus you buy technology and then it just sits on a shelf.
It's true.
And you just bring it out at Christmas time. This is out all the time, and that's where you find it fitting into your life.
You do.
You want to watch TV in the kitchen, you want to look up a recipe, you need to check your security cameras. Go-to is going to be your iPad.
It is, and by the way, in fact, you know what? I'm going to grab the iPad that I'm upgrading from just to prove a point about why you want that 256, because last night, first of all, I do have a bone to pick with my iPad because she kept me up all night. I was streaming films all night long. I told Bill this story, but you know what I had to do? Oh, Sierra, how good are you? I'll show you the storage. So do you know what I had to keep doing? I had to keep deleting stuff.
Did you upgrade from your pink lady, or is that just a new case?
I did. Now,
Okay.
she still has a very precious place on my countertop.
Okay.
But, so I upgraded to this one, I want to say, probably about 7 years ago, I want to say. It's a 64 gig. And when I show you the storage, it makes me want to cry every time I look at it.
How full it is?
So I am upgrading to the 256, because I'll tell you something, whether you watch TikTok videos, or you started to make TikTok videos, or you just want to download movies, trust me when I tell you, you want that 256 gig. It's kind of like square footage in your home. You can never have too much closet space. You can never have too much cabinetry. You can never have enough room in your home. So move into that 256 tonight. However, I will tell you, and Rick, I apologize that I glossed over that ombre. I don't even know how that happened. Let me just show you what's left.
Go for it.
Can you tell I'm excited?
It's an exciting night.
I think it's because of the sugar. I think it's because I was eating the sugar.
Because eating it. She was baking it, eating it, serving it, sharing it with everybody. I mean, proof is right there.
It is. All right, let me show you what's left, and then I'm going to have Bill take you on a tour, continue to take you on a tour of those techs and specs. One big thing I do want everybody to realize, though, and wow, are we busy? This is the final opportunity. And here's what I would love for you to do, whether you have an iPad like I do, or whether you want to prove Bill wrong. He knows this is my story. I did not want to fall in love with iPad. I was really kind of, you know, self-important about the whole thing. Oh, this iPad, really? Oh, really? I'm obsessed with my iPad, and I almost double dog dare you to not be obsessed as well. Let me do two things. I want you to see how many we've sold, and then I'd love it if we could just briefly show you how few of these we have left. And certainly, I realize this is a considered purchase. It's not like going to, okay, so we've sold over 4,200. To put it in perspective, we have a little over 1,000 left. Okay? Now bear in mind, those 1,000 are divvied up between all of the different color options, which means that we don't have a lot left. You know, for all intents and purposes, that means that we're in the dozens remaining on most of these. So remember, if you're gonna do it, you do need to do it now. Today's special means that price does go away at the stroke of midnight. There's our 30-day unconditional money-back return policy. You could make this into 12-month VIP financing. It's our 5-pay flex pay for our big celebration over the weekend. But you choose, do you want it in the space gray, or do you want it in the silver? Then choose your memory. Now on the 64 gig, we are down to the final couple dozen. Literally just couple digits. Space Gray in that 64 gig will actually sell out first. And by the way, it was officially gone at, as of 4 o'clock. And then on the 256, just heads up, on that 256, on the Space Gray, we have it available in everything but blue tie-dye. If you want it in the silver, we have it only in the black or in the white. So, and it's last call on both of those. If you are getting it in the 64 gig, remember you can, if you're one of the next 24 people, give or take, you can get it in that sunset ombre, or the blue tie-dye, or the optic white, or the silver, or the black, or the rose gold, or that navy. And remember, we'll include 2 cases for you. We'll include the gooseneck, which is perfect whether you're making recipes or videotaping recipes, or Zooming or Skyping or whatever it might be. We include not 1 or 2, but 3 Stylus. And then you also are getting these glass screen protectors, which are also an upgrade. And then, of course, your Bluetooth keyboard that fits nicely in this case as well. We are wildly busy. I'll just tell you right now, if you want yours, I have to do it now, because Bill knows when we've done shows together, unfortunately, people, and I realize, because it's a considered purchase, listen, I wait until the last minute in life and otherwise. Well, you got to strike now while the iron is hot. We are raising this price in a little over an hour. Bill, one of the top features that people have been talking about all day long is center stage.
Right.
And you're always the center of my focus. Are you showing that off for everybody?
I am showing this off because this is something you can't really appreciate until you have it at home. First of all, the front-facing camera is the better camera. So you don't have the back of the screen to you. The better camera is facing you, so you can really set yourself up for success with all those calls, Zoom and FaceTime and Microsoft Team meetings. But we all have to live in this box, right? But Shannon, I just noticed there's some wine over here. Hello, do you want red or do you want white? And do you notice the camera is following me? Maybe I'm the wiggly little kid who can't stay on the couch to talk to grandma. Or did you notice there's even birthday cake over here? I mean, hello, birthday cake, wine, it's a party all month long. But this is what happens. I don't have to stay in frame. I can have that conversation with a best friend, with mom, and still get the place ready for the party and still be running around and doing stuff because the camera's gonna follow you. The cool part about this technology, it's in their more expensive iPad, the Pro series. But now they put it in this most affordable iPad, and this is also what we need today, which we all probably wish we had for the last 2 years, but they finally put it in this new version, the Generation 9, and it's something we can all appreciate. Another inside tip, you can turn this off. So if you don't want the camera to roam to where the unfolded laundry is, you can keep it very standard if you'd like, but it's a very versatile upgrade, but it's included. And this is the Apple difference. When you go with Apple, you get top tier specs throughout, and your needs are gonna change as you have this tablet. Because 2 years ago, I was not broadcasting from home. I had the luxury of a huge crew, but now my crew became my iPad, because that's why I upgraded to this one in particular.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, by the way, I just trust me when I tell you, it's just like, I realize it's slightly more to get that 256, but look, last night I was deleting all these videos just so I could get under 60 gig because it's at 64. And you know what people forget? Once you start filling up that memory, it does bog down the processing. So here's the cool thing about this. It's a better processor, it's a better screen, it's a better front-facing camera for the very first time. And even if you're already an iPad fan, get ready to be wowed by this. Because one of the things that Bill said, and I don't care whether you're watching videos or making videos or editing videos, you're saying, oh, I can't do that. My mom can. And again, I do not mean that to be disrespectful. And my mom she watches every show. She knows that I'm saying that with every bit of respect, because I'm not so great with technology. But she's even told me different things. Oh, I shared your video. Oh, I posted this. And I'm like, who are you? Would you put my mother on the phone?
Right?
I don't know what's going on with that, right?
And the thing is, you're proud of them too, whether it's your parent, whether it's your kids, whether it's you.
For sure.
Because it's like, I just did that. And actually, to go back to my pet story, I got her that tablet, she couldn't turn it on. So finally I was like, you know what? I had an older iPad, I cleared it off, I handed it off to her, and by the time I got back home, she was already on Pinterest and sending me stuff.
Right.
And I was like, slow down, girl.
Exactly, but you know what? On the other side of the coin, if you have a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, now granted, you'd probably start at the $4.99 or even an iPad. I tell you what, here's what I'd do. retire, because we never retire our iPads.
Right.
I still, my little lady that Bill is talking about, she still is on my countertop. I refuse to get rid of her.
Because she still works.
She still works.
Yeah.
She still works. That's the thing that's so crazy. But if you have a son, daughter, grandson, I mean, niece, nephew, trust me, they want iPad.
Right.
So maybe you retire yours to them because they have, you know, whole lives of their own.
Right.
And you deserve to upgrade to this now. And once more, if you're not doing it in this hour, if you're not doing it in the show, sadly, we are raising the price after, well, at the stroke of midnight. I have to make sure to place my order, and I've learned I'm getting that $256. And really, I want to encourage you to do so as well. So we'll show you what's sold. And then here's what's left, about 1,000, a little over 1,000 remaining. That does not take into consideration the hundreds and hundreds of people in the various forms of ordering. But remember, as long as you call now, thank goodness you didn't ask me to dance.
Yet.
Yeah, oh boy. Now you know I dance like Elaine.
We have sugar. We got
Well,
40 minutes.
There you go. Good luck to you.
Elaine.
Yes, I
Okay.
do.
Then I'll do my best Kramer. Okay.
All right, hey, we've got a lot of people channel surfing, and Bill, you can obviously tell how much I love Bill, and but I also just love all the information that you provide as well. And certainly I don't want to downplay that just because we're having a good time in the studio, but I just really want to keep reinforcing you can get better technology, but better price, better overall iPad, and you know what that means to you? A better experience. And I don't care what that experience is. I don't care if it's shopping. I don't care if it's looking at cat videos. I don't care if it's saving you time to not have to drive to the doctor, or like my mom, she actually, she recently had a couple of surgeries, and you know, she was actually doing her remote doctor's visits and consultations with the doctors that were in the Twin Cities, and you know, she lives on a little, you know, a little old farm. So it opens up new vistas. It opens up new worlds. One thing that she could have used though is that gooseneck, because you know, it was a lengthy conference or you know, communication between the medical team and my mom, and you know, after a while, even if you're using your phone or your other tablet, you get a little tired. But this takes full advantage of the technology in addition to the bonuses or to the extras. And I will say those extras, they tally in, I think, at over $300, you know, give or take.
Add up for sure.
They
I mean,
do.
the gooseneck is just one of them. Actually, one thing I like about the gooseneck, it is individually boxed.
Oh, is it really?
So if you wanted to break up the set, so this is that gooseneck holder. I'm just gonna pop it out real quick because I want you to see how secure that is. This is actually great to fit your phones if you'd like. And the cool part about it is I just clamped it down to the glass tabletop. Oh, sorry guys. And the thing is, it has this nice clamp right down here. You can totally adjust it to the thicker countertops. One of my favorite reviews was a kid in college. He had this, and he clamped it to the bunk bed above him in the dorm, and then he hung his iPad and his phone right there.
Oh, that's smart.
So he's able to watch his shows.
That's really smart.
But also, like, capturing, when I was over there in the other room, I didn't have someone holding it for me. I was able to just position it to where I need it, because this is the gooseneck, where it's like, stretch it out, make it to wherever you want to go, and reposition it. Totally cool and functional, and that's included. One other thing that is included that we've never really done before is a screen protector. Yeah. So realize we're getting you the latest generation iPad, but then we're giving you a lot of things to protect that investment. Yes. So this is a nice secure way to protect it. The case itself is a way to protect it. And then we haven't done this before, but it's a tempered glass screen protector. And you can't even tell that my tablet right here has it on because of the quality of it, because there aren't air bubbles and there's not that warping. So you place this on. I mean, you can barely see it, which is key, but it will protect your iPad at the end of the day. So that's protected. And you're talking about your mom and doing movies. One thing I want to remind everyone, we're giving everyone 3 years to the Mac U. Oh, yeah. Which is online videos and support and tutorials, which is great because, you know, maybe you get at home and you're doing your cat videos and you're gaming. And then all of a sudden you want to try something different. And you get into here and you're like, wait, how does this all work? I don't get it. You can go to the Mac U for 3 years, not 6 months, not a 1 year, but 3 years. And what it is, it's just great, efficient, easy to follow, and this is why they've been successful. Come over here and it's like, I want this tutorial. Okay, so let's see what the tutorial has to say. And talks you through.
In this lesson, we're going to cover some basic terminology and workflow that we will use here in iMovie.
So perfect. Takes you through the process. Again, on my own time and dime. So you couldn't sleep last night? Guess what? You could have been going to Mac U instead of whatever you were watching.
Well, you know what's so interesting about that? I don't think I've ever told you this story. I used to be the office manager for the Minnesota Film Board, and I used a typewriter in college. So guess what? They were one of the first companies in Minnesota to start using, Macs and everything else. And so they paid They paid to send me to, you know, Mac school. And I'll just tell you, it wasn't cheap. I mean, because this is what, 30 years ago, probably, maybe even more than that. It was thousands of dollars. And I'll never forget because, again, it was a whole new learning curve for me. I didn't want to ask questions in class. You know, if I want somebody to repeat something, I'm like, the little farm girl from Minnesota. You know, why do you do that? This means, just like love means never having to say you're sorry. I'm telling you, these are virtually impossible to mess up. The only way you can make a mistake is by not grabbing it tonight. So what I'd love to do is I'm just going to do just a real quick inventory look, just because I know everybody loves to watch your demos, Bill, and I promise we'll get right back to that. Because I have to place my order, so I want to see what we've got left because I'm upgrading. Because this is actually a Pro, and this actually falls underneath kind of the Pro wheelhouse.
They took some of the features that were launched in the Pro, put them in this general. And that's one thing I want everyone to realize. There's 3 different iPads out there. There is the generation iPad. This is the latest generation. There's an iPad Air, and there's an iPad Pro. And they get more expensive. They took some of the features in that more expensive iPad, and it's in this generation. So you really are getting a lot of bang for your buck, because even if you were to go to Apple, they'd be like, this is our most affordable iPad. You wanna get a case, you wanna get a keyboard, you wanna get this. Oh, and by the way, if you got this at Apple, you have a 14-day return policy. We've doubled that. So right now with summer vacation and holidays and all that, you have more time to make sure this does work for you. And we're gonna get into a perfect way you can try that out. It's just logging into your emails and seeing, can it work with your daily life of sending and receiving and all of that? And you're gonna be blown away with how much faster, how much crisper the screen quality is. Because remember, this screen, it's a Retina display. And that means there's 1 million more pixels in this high definition monitor. So whether it's family photos, whether it's fun videos just like that, or gaming, you are going to enjoy it all day long.
You are indeed. So, you know how I say you snooze, you lose? I messed up. I didn't place the order before I got on the air. I was going to get the space gray and the space gray and the rose gold. I can't. It just sold out. Seriously. So then, even in my mind, even before my producer told me this, I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Then I'll do the black. I can't. It's gone. Also, hey, by the way, once you move into your iPad, you're gonna keep it for years. I still have the one that I got probably, gosh, I bet it's gotta be 15 years ago. It was when I worked with Bill. The one that I have on the set is probably 7 years old. So once you move into it, you might wanna ask about that Protection Plus plan, because let's be honest, you're gonna keep your iPad probably longer than you keep your car. You're gonna keep your iPad probably longer than you keep your refrigerator. I know that sounds like maybe a dramatic, well, I mean, not for a lot of people. I mean, seriously, I have a friend who just bought a new refrigerator. So at the end of the day, I want you to try this. You can hear how passionate I am, but it is an elevated experience. If you already have an iPad, you know that to be true, but I'll just tell you, it's the better display, it's the better front-facing camera, it's the better processor, it's the better performance, and you know what, frankly, it's the bigger, better memory. If you can make that leap to the 256, I'm just telling you, even if I can't get my rose gold or my black in the space gray, I'm gonna get the 256 tonight. So remember, you choose it in the space gray or the silver. Now, here's what's happening. You can still get the 64 gig if you are one of, Rick, we have what, probably 400 only total on the 64 gig? Okay, so on the 64 gig total, probably 400. Now, you know what that means? Because we have them in all of the choices in terms of the accessory package. That means a couple dozen in each. If you want that 64 gig in the space gray, it is last call, period. So the space gray is almost completely gone in that 64 gig. Otherwise, if you want the silver or the space gray in the 256, I missed out on my rose gold and my black, so there you go. But you can still get it, Rick, in all the other colors in this 256. However, if you want the 256 in the silver, it is white only. Oh, we do? Okay, 75 of us can get my space gray with the rose gold in the 256. You feeling lucky, folks? So I do. See, this is the opportune moment for me to turn things over to my friend Bill Duggan, because
I
Bill,
saw it. I'll jump at it.
See, boy, it's smooth. You know, you've been gone for 2 years in the studio, and it's still just like riding a bicycle.
Well, I want to share with someone everything. So here are the two colors: the space gray and that silver. But the one thing you have to realize, they look the same in the front.
True.
And when they're sitting
Yeah,
in a
good
case,
point.
guess what? You're really going to get the same experience. But I know we do have a personal preference, so silver and the space gray. But when you place this in that tablet holder, when you place it wherever, this is going to be the difference. And one thing you might notice, there's no more white bezel anymore.
Right.
That's a big indicator of this 9th generation. It still also has the home button. Some of those other iPads out there, they got rid of the home button. Yeah. We were laughing earlier about, remember technology when they launched this, and like one button? Really? That's not a computer. You need all those extra buttons and the F keys. No, you don't. And the thing is, now they took that away, but that's peace of mind for a lot of us. So you have that as well. One thing we were talking about earlier, you were mentioning the Mac school you went to.
Right.
And it made me think back to when I went to college, I had this little Mac SE kind of all-in-one thing.
Okay.
I thought it was a laptop. It totally was not a laptop. I would bring it to the library because
Totally
I wanted to get out of my roommate situation and all that and just get some work done. And the thing is, we needed it for work. We needed to take it with us. So with what we're giving you tonight, it looks and performs like a laptop, but they're also saying more of our computing is going to be tablet driven because it now has the capacity to do it. And so we're setting this up. I mean, look at this. It looks like a laptop. This keyboard sits right here. It's a full keyboard, totally removable, which is nice because maybe you are just binge watching in bed. But when I do need to come down here and do word processing, by the way, I can work in Word or Excel, which is PC speak.
That's a big deal.
But it totally is, because it used to not be that way. And that's one thing, if you tried a tablet before and you found it slow, because tablets 10 years ago were primarily for playing solitaire and shopping. Now,
reading books.
Exactly, e-reader. Now this has really evolved, and you'll be blown away and appreciate the upgrade.
Hey, Bill, can I just have to interject here? Rick, is it official? We have fewer than 1,000, or we're almost there? Okay, we are poised and ready to dip below that 1,000 mark, which if we were in a regular retail store, that might be okay, but we are in tens of millions of homes. We're in over 90 million homes. Here's the good news. You're watching tonight, and you're watching for a reason, and I don't want to, I always want you to be able to make the purchase when you're comfortable. However, I will tell you this, as a show host, I have been waiting for us to do something like this. We do not do iPad Today specials, and quite frankly, we do not do all of these upgrades for this price. So this is only for, well, if you want that 256, I am gonna have to forewarn you, the 256 in, Rick, the space gray is the most limited, or the silver is the most limited. We only have 8 available with the black accessory package and 40 available with the white accessory package. Wow. So we are very, very busy. And remember, there's no downside. You do have to reserve it now, though. I'm hopeful that we'll have enough to get through the rest of this hour, because Bill and I have a scheduled 1-hour presentation. I'm not overly confident that it'll make it the whole hour, because there's, at this point, silver sellout alert on the 256. We have basically 50 of them, if you're doing your math. So it is now fewer than 1,000 remaining. And then one final thing, if you are channel surfing, don't forget, first of all, unlike many stores, including the Apple Store, this is available to ship right now. Right. So I don't know where we got those handful of 64 gigs. And then secondly, it's not a 14-day return policy. It's a 30-day return policy. And then not only that, we include a bunch of accessories, a bunch of extras with your purchase, valuing, and probably, you know, coming in at, I believe it's over that $350 mark. We have FlexPay. Those are interest-free payments. So that means I even use my debit card on that. But it doesn't mean that we charge you more money in order to do that. You get a 30-day, not a 14-day return policy. You get a 30-day return policy. And then let's say, for an example, you want to get that silver, you know, while the next 40 are available, because that's all we have in the 256. But then let's say you change your mind. You're like, I wish I would have got that space gray. Remember, we do now have free exchanges, which is really, really helpful. Wow. So that's a big deal too.
It's a nice upgrade, for sure.
I challenge Bill to find every unflattering photo that he's ever taken of me, and I'm sure you were up for the challenge. You did
easiest challenge.
You did, yeah, no kidding. You did delete the brownie photo though.
I did, but
because I begged him.
I found it. I deleted it and it popped up on a different device and I'm like, oh, she's gonna be mad. I wonder if it's on this one actually.
Oh, Lord.
But this is where it's actually, so quick example, I digress. This is how Apple does it. Apple has a facial recognition, so it can find your family. Like, here's my nephew, and actually it's funny, he doesn't even look like this anymore, but it still was able to find current photos of him as he's grown up. I mean, that's one of the most recent ones that I took on a FaceTime chat with him. I mean, this is what's fun about Apple, and what this is, it makes me look organized, but I have all my favorite show hosts here. So here's my Shannon folder, and this is a very cool example of just memories all in one place. And I'm quickly trying to see if the brownie one is in here.
Lord.
Oh, it is. There it is.
Oh, you.
I thought I deleted it. I swear. But
That's the photo I begged him to delete.
maybe after tonight.
Begged him.
But what?
I think Dustin's favorite is where I'm sitting on the floor with my shoes off and the cupcakes.
Actually, you know what that one was? It's right over here. Because this was. It's right here. This one? Yeah. This was our very first iPad Today special. So this was
They're all keepers, aren't they, folks?
November 24th. Oh, it was a Black Friday. It was 2012.
Oh, Lord,
so this is
you're
10
killing
years
me.
old, this photo. But do you still have the shoes? And
I do still have
and
those
actually, you know what?
shoes.
You brought me a cupcake tonight. I brought cupcakes that night.
Oh, it's
So,
true.
10 years later, here we
it's
go.
like the circle of life, isn't it? Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. But what I want to illustrate here is I have photos that are 10 years old. I didn't have to go to the shoebox or another device. They're all right here because I had the memory and the storage and was able to find them. Because remember, these are all my Shannon my photos. To organize all this normally, I would have to do the work, but nope, I can come down here. I can find my Helen Keeney stuff. I can find some Lori Leland pictures in here. Tons of fun.
Rick, I don't want to, okay, now listen, they do kick me out of the
You
system.
have to submit to order.
I know, I am.
see. She's totally shopping. I love it.
But so I'm one of, I think, only 50 people who are getting my space gray in the rose gold in the 256, okay?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Oh, hurry.
16? Okay, space gray, there are, 16 of the silver? Okay, 16 only in that silver on the 256. Okay, so is it wrong that I know my security code for my credit card by heart? Does that indicate that I do a lot of shopping?
Not at all.
Is that normal?
You know what I actually like?
What?
If you shop a lot, I think it's normal. It's convenient. But you have finger touch ID as well.
Oh, that's
to help
true.
Confirm your purchases. And not just on an app like HSN, but even downloading an app. So many are in-app purchases, which a lot of parents are like,
When you sell this out, are you gonna buy me cupcakes?
I'll totally buy you some cupcakes. I'll make you cupcakes. That's just it.
Really?
I'll call you Cupcake.
Oh, see, there you go. Okay, so here's the thing. As long as you're calling now, we will, I mean, unqualified, because we are fewer than 1,000. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people calling. There's no downside to getting this because, and Bill knows this is a true story. First of all, and I'm not alone in this, Colleen and I gave him so much grief the first iPad that we got, because all the things that you're getting tonight for no additional cost.
We've learned.
Oh, yeah, right? She and I bought all of them separately. Meaning we bought a case separately, meaning we bought a keyboard separately. And by the way, at that time, and I realized this is probably about 10 years ago, it was well in excess of, I would say $1,200 or $1,300, well in excess of that, okay? So to that end, we are doing our biggest accessory package. We're doing the better screen, the better camera, the better price, more stuff for this hour. This hour. I realize technically the price goes away at midnight, and forgive me for saying it this way, that's why I want to place my order so I don't miss out. You snooze, you lose on this, because with the final 800 or so, give or take, of course that doesn't take into account everybody in the various forms of ordering. I'll say it one more time and then I'm going to have Bill get back into the text and specs, but there is no downside to at least reserving yours, because there is a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee.
Right.
So Bill knows when I got mine, I think even when Colleen got hers, but I bought mine with a personal challenge to Bill. I'm like, I'm not gonna like this much. You remember the story. And I fully expected, I thought, I would have bet my life that I was gonna return it. I did not think I was gonna like it. I didn't, because I thought, oh, it's just all hype and blah, blah, blah.
Like, I'm not waiting on the lines and all that.
Exactly,
And then
I know.
Really?
You gotta try it. You've got to try it. I'm serious. So we're getting some questions about the Retina display.
Sure.
Can we kind of dig in, unpack some of the key features
Happy
in
to.
terms of why this is better than even the iPad that I bought a few years ago?
Yeah, so a Retina display, that means the quality of the pictures. So think of a high definition television, beautiful, right? Big, bold. This has 1 million more pixels than a high definition television. So
Can you say that again? 1 million?
1 million more pixels than a high definition television.
wow.
So
Nice.
in this 10.2 inch screen, the colors are gonna be more vibrant, more accurate, more enjoyable. And to be honest, you forget that it's there until you go pick up another tablet or go to a different computer screen because it is visually stimulating. And that's, you know, online shopping and gaming and binge watching TV shows. But you know where I appreciate it most of all is what you're gonna see right here. It's the text. So when I'm looking at emails, when I'm looking at fine print on a
Right.
purchase, the text is even sharper and crisper. And we can all appreciate that, especially if this is our computer that we're sitting at daily, getting our work done, checking our emails. And that's what I challenge everyone to do. Because you have more time, log in, check your emails, and what you're gonna notice, because that's our portal to getting, you know, connected with the office, to getting stuff done. And this is what happens. The office sent me an Excel document. I need to open it. Faster to open because of that processor, pinch and zoom technology, and look at that clarity of this,
Nice.
of a spreadsheet. I mean, this is boring, but it's crystal clear. I mean, you can't even read that at home, but you can definitely see that. And while we're in emails, I want to show everyone this fun example. Someone sent me this. I need to get it filled out, right? Normally, send it to the printer, fill it
Right.
out, scan it. If you can remember how to scan, then send it back. Or take the stylus. Remember, you're getting a 3-pack of these. This is
3.
your stylus tip,
Yep.
full ballpoint pen. I like to keep one with my tablet, keep one in the bag, keep one
smart.
for my
That's a good
phone.
idea.
I come over here, I hit my pens. I'm gonna just sign this real quick, find blah, blah, blah. I'm doing this upside down backwards. But more importantly, I could fill it out on the screen and boom, send it back to the accountant, send it back to the school because it's a permission slip. And that task is done. And guess what? I don't have to deal with it on Sunday morning.
Right.
And that's the ease of use of this. And that's why they're saying this is more computer-like than a tablet
For
of
sure.
the past. And that's where you're gonna appreciate it for the daily, for the word processing. Another real quick word processing. I was showing you over here, getting stuff done for work. And I'm gonna come over here and do some typing. But this digital keyboard is cramping my workspace.
Right.
Our keyboard is included. I turn it on. It sits in here via Bluetooth. So I now have more screen space, which is
Sure.
great. I can come over here, have this on my lap, type, just like I would on a computer or on my laptop. Yet I can leave this at home. I can take it with me, and I have more workspace. And this is where you're gonna find it empowering. I have my Shannon photos, right? I want the one that she shared with me tonight. This is how simple it is to upgrade. I drag my photo library over, I go to my Shannon photos. There's our TikTok from it.
That was fun.
That was fun, wasn't
That
it?
was fun.
So I come over here, and where's that photo? Boom. How do I get that photo from here to there? A lot of times you have to know the code or the two
Sure.
buttons
Oh,
at
for
the same
sure.
time.
You bet.
And more often than not, my Patty problem would be she would hit Control and then C. I'm like, no, same time. And it's like, so what do? You just grab it. You'll see it gets a little activated. And I want it to go there. I don't want the Santa photo. That's how simple it is. And that's where you're like, okay, that wasn't that bad. What else can I do? And that's where it's addicting, it's empowering for the little kids, for us as adults who
it's
like,
true.
you know, I think I can only handle so much tech. You'd be surprised how much you can get done.
Absolutely. By the way, that is a Smooky cookie recipe that I will be
Smooky.
posting after the show. Or Smooky, also known as my pet name for Bill.
Oh, cupcake. Okay.
Oh, Smooky.
Spooky and cupcake. I love it. Okay.
Can I show them what we got left?
Please, go
Can
for
I-
it. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just going to do that real quick, and then I promise Bill's going to get back into it. But I don't want you to miss out because, Rick, is it official? All right, the silver and the 256, I think I have 10 of them remaining. Is that, am I saying that correctly? In the silver, in the 256, I have 10, and it is in the white accessory package only. Correct, okay. In the 256, can you tell I love that 256? I have to show you the storage on my iPad, no kidding. There was a lot of creative language at 5 o'clock this morning when I couldn't download some of the videos I wanted to watch.
Right.
And so I had to delete things. So I learned I learned from my experience. I realize it's slightly more to get that 256, but you quadruple the memory. Now on that 256 in the space gray, are we sold out of the rose gold yet? Okay, okay, we've got basically 40 of the rose gold in the space gray, 256. Okay, the blue and the blue tie-dye in the space gray are completely gone. Otherwise, we do have that ombre, which was really the big hit today. And then we also have it in the white, the gray, the navy. The black is gone though, correct, Rick, on the space gray? Oh, 5. Well, there you go. Now, the 64 gig, this is the first time in HSN history, it's our 45th birthday, where we have gotten below that $500 threshold, especially on a better iPad. Remember, this is not a who's it, what's it refurbished. This is that fresh out of the box iPad smell. I mean, seriously. If you want that 64 gig, as I said, it was completely sold out earlier. Our buying team begged. When I say begged Apple to let us do this, for this hour, if you're one of the next 300 people calling, you can get your hands on a 64 gig new upgraded classification of iPad with the Bionic chip and the Retina display and the better front-facing camera and the center stage and the faster performance and the better imagery for the best price that we've ever offered in our HSN history. So 300 of you and 300 only. And remember, if you are new, let me do this real quickly. FlexPay is open. You can use PayPal, debit card, any major credit card. I actually use my debit card for FlexPay. Those are interest-free payments. That's how I got my $256. 800 only. I can promise you every single one of these will be gone by the stroke of midnight. And then once you've chosen, as long as it's still available, we are including 2 cases. One that you can attach that detachable Bluetooth keyboard to, and then a neoprene one. We're including not 1 or 2, but 3 stylus. We're including that gooseneck. We're also including that glass screen protector. I mean, it's literally invisible. That is the best screen protector that well, frankly, that's the kind that we would normally, what we call upsell or make also available here at HSN. These are going, gone. And you can tell how excited I am for you because I have been waiting to upgrade my iPad. And Bill, it's funny, because obviously you could probably tell, Snooki and I are good friends. But I've been meaning to text you, when are we doing our next iPad Today special? Because, I love the one that I got a few years ago. It's actually in the Pro family, but it doesn't have center stage. It doesn't, the display on this one is better. I wanted to upgrade my memory anyway. And candidly, for what I would spend for all of the extras, even here at HSN, I got myself a whole new iPad. I'm serious about that.
And the thing is, we often don't know how it's very last minute, because it's like we got the quantity, because we don't want to be that retailer who's like everyone else, who's like, oh, you want this? Great. When it comes in, we'll send it to you. We have them now, and it's actually the perfect time, even if you are thinking back to school, because maybe you have an iPad in the family already, and the kids are going to use it for school. So this one's going to be for you. There's no shame in a hand-me-down. I appreciate that HSN gives you double the return time, because that's where you really can see if you like that center stage, if you are gonna benefit from it. By the way, moving into a new iPad is very simple. I'm gonna jump over here real quick, because this is where I get all these little tangents, but they have made everything so simple and intuitive.
Did you dance with Marlo? Marlo's actually a really good dancer.
It's funny. Marlo has made me dance.
Oh, has she really?
And when you make me dance, I get really stiff.
Well, then we can dance together, because that's how I dance.
Yeah.
Like,
we had a show a few years ago. A speaker's like, dance. I'm like, oh, God. When the pressure's on. Actually, I'll go back to that real quick. What you're seeing is over here, I found a video of Bobby and I from 10 years ago, where we were dancing on set, just goofing off.
Yeah.
And then we recreated it, right? But notice how I'm on a different side. I was like, darn it, we should have been on different sides. But you can't recreate those moments. But you know what I was able to figure out how to do? I was able to, I was able to flip the video and actually, and trust me, I was just thinking about, how did I do that again? I don't know. I don't remember. But guess what? I was able to do it, and I was so proud of myself because I was in the app. I was playing around, and all of a sudden it highlighted, and I saw the flip button. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I figured it out.
Yeah.
The power that is here, you're gonna be blown away with. We get these home, and we're like, I'm just gonna binge watch and do some shopping and enjoy having more photos and all this. And then our needs evolve and change. Like when the pandemic happened, I had a computer and an iPad, and I was like, oh, how am I gonna do this? Thank gosh I had an Apple.
Yeah,
it really made it work in terms of giving me great cameras. But when this one came out with that center stage and a better front-facing camera versus the rear being the better, no joke.
Yeah.
So when we first got sent home, the better camera was in the back.
Oh, of course. Well,
so
yeah.
I was like broadcasting facing this. So I couldn't see the screen.
Right.
I couldn't see what Shannon was saying. I'd placed a mirror against it or in front of it, and I was looking at the reflection, and then everything was backwards, and I was all haywire. But we were making do.
Well,
it was.
It's true. Hey, Bill, they are telling me though, here's the thing. We've got about 10 minutes remaining in this hour. I don't know if we can even take this over the top at all or not. They've got a lot. I don't think we're gonna need to because we have the final 700. And what I'm gonna ask Bill to do is maybe a center stage demo, but more importantly, I'd love to do what I call the highlight reel. In case you are channel surfing, the one thing I do have to make really clear though, and these chairs have like a little squeak tone.
Really? Right.
Like,
oh, Cupcake and Smokey are making noises.
I know. And I'm sure, who's doing audio? They're like, oh, for goodness sake, would you tell her? Who's doing? Vince. Oh, see, Vince takes umbrance with me anyway, because I run him ragged. He's like, that Smith girl. She's on my schedule again.
Here she goes.
Anyway, well, you know what? The squeaky wheel gets the grease or gets the iPad. Doggone it. Because we are well into sellout territory. Please understand though, unless you're selecting it today, now we've got free exchanges and we have a 30-day return policy. However, what you do need to be aware of, you can't get this price after today. Are you photobombing?
No.
So that is the only caveat to this whole situation and that's why I keep saying there's no downside to selecting it in the show because, you know, we could exchange it for free if you decide you wanted a different accessory package, you know, honestly, and even if you wanted the different memory, I'm sure customer service would work with you. I can't say that for sure, but I'm confident that they would. What are you doing back there?
I just want to show center stage one more time. So this is me, I'm over here, and the thing is I'm moving around because I swear there's more alcohol on the set, Cupcake. Actually, are there cupcakes?
I love you.
So you notice I'm moving around because this is it. I want to show off my new apartment. Actually, I've done this when I've been on vacation. I'm like, look what we've done for the birthday, and you can see the whole celebration versus carrying the camera around with me, getting it too close, being all jittery. This center stage is not in every iPad. It's barely even in that Pro series.
Not on mine.
But it is in this one, which is great.
Well,
so,
in fact, I
really
spent more money for my Pro than you're spending here. And no kidding, because when I went home for Christmas, I still wasn't able to see my niece and nephew because, they had to do the social distancing.
Right.
And thank goodness I had my iPad, because can you imagine if I wouldn't have even at least been able to see them opening presents? It's a changing day, it's a changing world. It's the iPad that's gonna change how you think about tablets. It's the iPad that's gonna change how you think about yourself. You want instant gratification, or more importantly, something that empowers you. I'm talking to everybody who's watching this show who's a little nervous Nelly with technology. You absolutely have to try this. If you're already an iPad fan, you already know, yeah, I know, you wanna upgrade to this one. I have been waiting to upgrade to the new Bionic chip, the better Retina display, all of those features, and I'll tell you what, for what I, as a show host, would have spent very, very close to the accessories that are in this, I thought, well, you know what? I'm just gonna get a new iPad. I really did. Because, it's not like, yes, it's a considered purchase, but it's not like I buy one every day.
No.
I mean, it's serious, because I can't even remember when I got this Pro. It has to be easily at least 5, 6, maybe even 7 years ago.
And when you break that down,
Yeah.
Bobby Ray Carter was talking about how she's had one for 10 years, and sure, it's an investment, but 10 years of use out of
Right,
it?
are you kidding me?
That's worth it.
Yeah. Hey, 4 minutes or sellout. Now, the silver in the 256, I think I have a half dozen, okay? If you want the silver in the 256, basically 6, a half dozen of you. If you want the 64 gig, now let's just jump back to the 64 gig. The 64 gig was gone as of 4 o'clock. It is the first time in history we've actually dipped below that $500 threshold, let alone with all of the upgrades and the features and the accessories and everything else. Space gray in that 64 gig, it is in white only. And Rick, we have fewer than 300 of the 64 gig. Okay, so if you want the 64 gig, you can go to hsn.com and place your order. Do it. That way, I won't take all your time, because I know you want to hear Bill doing the text and specs. Go to hsn.com or even call our toll-free number. Just get what we've got, because we've got like 200 50 of them, and that's it.
Right.
And you saw that quantity left. Basically, we have the final 700. We're getting ready to dip below that. Let's do the highlight reel of what makes this such a great buy tonight.
So realize this is that latest iPad. It's their most affordable iPad from a brand we all know. If you're an Apple user, you get it. You want to upgrade for what Apple delivers year upon year. If you're new to Apple, HSN is the place to really give it a try. We've doubled the return policy. Apple's is 14 days, HSN gives you 30. We include 3 years of online video tutorials, and this is what the iPad difference is. That new chip, the A13 Bionic chip made by Apple, so they have them, which is great. It is 20% faster than that, not the original, but than the prior model. The improved cameras, that front-facing camera is the better one. Apple flipped the script on that one.
Did.
And thank gosh they did. And center stage feature, it's great to play with. It's a nice convenience because you set it up once and you have the freedom to move around the kitchen and show off the house. And then you even have share play where you can fling and share content.
Right.
And we were even sharing photos earlier. You were airdropping to me. And the thing is, it's very simple for you to do because of what Apple has put on their platform. And also one thing you have to realize, what's given Apple longevity is not necessarily the design. It's actually the design that we don't even realize is here as we jump into the Apple App Store and download different things, because we all have different needs, because whether it's, I'm going on vacation, I need to have entertainment in the back seat of the car and all of that. We're not gonna get the viruses and the malware and all the cobwebs that slow it down, that make it, on year 3 and 4, more of a paperweight or more of a buffing machine where it just spins and spins, where it really is just always going to give you performance. And that performance is really kind of fun because there's days, maybe I don't need the iPad. But when I do get involved in that game or start binge watching that show, it's great caliber, it's easy, it's fast, it's responsive, but you're gonna be amazed with how many people you are seeing out there these days that are computing more and more on a tablet because it has that processing capability. The way this is designed, at 1 pound, you can have all those years of memories where you can easily just come over here and download and post and create. And yes, use it for school, use it for work because you have the word processing capability, the spreadsheets, and you can work in both worlds from PC to Apple. And what I encourage everyone to do, check out that little light bulb icon that's here because it gives you some tips and tricks because you're investing in this hardware. The hardware you're always gonna have.
Yeah.
The great camera, the great resolution, that memory. But then as you get different upgrades, you go to that little light bulb, it's gonna show you some of the tips and tricks of the new operating system, which
Bill,
Apple does for free.
The 256 and the silver is gone.
Oh.
So the 256 and the silver is gone. Try your hand. That's 64 gig. We have the final 200 total.
Okay.
Final 200 total on that 64 gig. And then, just grab what we got. I mean, seriously.
It's a holiday weekend. I mean, you might be out and about, grab it, you could deal with it later.
Well, no, but seriously.
Yeah.
So, okay. 256 in the space gray, white and sunset ombre only.
Oh.
So white and sunset ombre only in the space gray. I'm surprised that we have that sunset ombre still available because everybody's going crazy for that. Yeah. They really were. All right, so here's the thing, going, gone. We're gonna keep that price available for you for the next hour. I'll try, in fact, I know they're gonna keep the setup out here. I'll keep reminding you about updates just so that you can get yours before we raise that price at 12 midnight.
That's nice.
You're not going home yet.
No. We got more fun cupcake.
Yes, Smokey.
Oh, don't make me blush.
By the way, I posted that picture of the two of us.
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a good, well, not that one.
Okay. I can't wait to check on social media.
Love you.